But what's the very first thing? They didn't, you instructed them to use your exemption account and they didn't do so. Okay? So you, as the supposed representative of these franchises, said, okay, well, pay that off using my exemption account. And they failed to honor your instruction, right? So that's complaint number one, failure to provide remedy. Okay, so they didn't use your exemption account. Okay. And then what else didn't they do? Oh, they didn't honor their usufructuary duty. They created this franchise and named it after you without your knowledge or permission. They used it for their benefit and not for yours. And so they owe you the obligation as a usufruct to hold you harmless from any result or charge derived from the existence of their corporate franchise. Right? That corporate franchise doesn't benefit you. It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't generate income for you. It's theirs, and it's their responsibility to pay for any bills that accrue from it. And then the third thing is it's a non-negotiable issue. They cannot negotiate it as a debt because no debt, in fact, exists. They never gave you anything that was worth anything, literally. Let me repeat this for everybody. And I have said it, and I've written it down, and I've shown you the court cases where it very clearly states Federal Reserve notes have no value. Even if somebody were to come in and steal a box of Federal Reserve notes, chock full of Federal Reserve notes, you could not charge them with a crime of theft. So, and you can look at any Federal Reserve note you like, and sure, you'll see a couple of signatures on it, but where is the due date when the debt is due? Where does it say that this promissory note has an end date where you can go and present it and be paid? And what does it say you're going to be paid in? What form of commodity or money is it going to be paid in? Those elements are missing. So the Federal Reserve note is perfectly, absolutely non-negotiable and worthless officially, and the courts have said so. It's monopoly money, all right? So here they are, they're trying to evict you from your home based on a supposed loan of monopoly money. And so what is your response to the court in any event, in any kind of claim like this? Non-negotiable. Sign and date it. Non-negotiable in big red letters right across any determination, any eviction notice, any finding of any of these courts that is based on or that involves money. Mm-hmm. Just write non-negotiable and send it back to them.
Same with like tickets or any of those.
It's all non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm. So do you just write non-negotiable and you want us to actually autograph it too, or just non-negotiable?
I just write non-negotiable. I sign it. I do my private copyright symbol at the end of my signature, and I date it and I send it back to them.
And you say you date it. I just want to be sure because look, we are hearing a few different things, and I was going to ask you about all of this. Like we should have a little class about autographs.
Okay. But in order for something to be cognizable by anybody, by a court, by anyone who's reading anything, they need to know the time framework because time is what sets the framework. Okay. So you do have to date things.
Okay.
So that there is, there's something that they can latch onto and say, oh, well, this happened in September of 1868. So things that went on prior to that don't count under this particular document.
Mm-hmm. And we use red, not the blue. And then we just say our byline, our autograph with the copyright, handwritten copyright, and the date.
So number one, you want, yeah, and it can be as simple as this. Number one, look, I've told you to use my exemption account to pay anything associated with this mortgage. Just boom. Second, you created the franchise named as a defendant for your own benefit, for your own corporation's benefit, without my knowledge or permission. And as a usufruct, you owe me the usufructory duty to hold me harmless from any and all charges, expenses, or claims that may result from the existence of this franchise. And third, this alleged debt is non-negotiable. 1, 2, 3. So they have a choice. They can use your exemption account and transfer the prepaid credit back against the debt and zero it out, which is what they should be doing all the time anyway. Or they can give up being paid and look at it in terms of an expense of their franchise that they are legally required to pay, right? Or finally, they're just basically, as my mother used to say, SOL. You know, if they're alleging a non-negotiable instrument debt, and it is non-negotiable. So, you
And
know,
and and Anna, do we do the autograph with upper and lowercase? I see that you autograph a lot of things lowercase only, and I know that you're working in multiple jurisdictions. So could you talk about that real fast, please?
you're never going to be working in a jurisdiction where you use all lowercase.
Okay. So we'll be using the upper and lowercase, cursive, with no parse syntax, no dashes, no nothing. I just want to make it all the way clear.
Right, and you're going to use your own private copyright. You're going to actually handwrite your little C and your circle around it, or you, depending on what the context of it is, you may write out private copyright, and then the date, the first use date.
When it's typed out, we do the private copyright with the first use date.
Mm-hmm.
With first use date. Thank you. All right. So